Morning slouched over the scrub above Ashforge, not quite ready to commit. Light slid down the rock walls of the bowl in thin sheets, catching on slag heaps and the sag of the river nets. Smoke from the night's cook fires lingered in grey ropes over the shacks. From where Tic Tic sat, the town looked like a handful of scrap and stubbornness someone had dropped in the middle of the stone and forgotten. No walls yet, just mounds, stacked metal, and roofs pretending they were shields. His hut clung to a leaning tree on the inner slope, halfway between the last cook fires and the bare rock of the rim. From below, you would miss it, swallowed by scrub and smoke. From here, he saw almost all of Ashforge. Kilns breathing, nets dark over the water. The narrow place where river and road squeezed in together, like they were afraid of the same thing. He liked it that way. Voices had to cross distance, climb the slope, and think about it twice before they reached him. A ladder of nailed slats and knotted roots clung to the trunk, something that had started as a joke and stayed because it worked. The bottom platform creaked under his weight as he sat with his kit laid out in an orderly row. Breastplate, shoulder lames, forearm guards, all ash-forged metal, dark with oil, edges rounded soft by sand and years of hands. He checked each piece with blunt fingers, feeling for cracks, for loose rivets, for anything that might decide to fail while a tooth was trying to get through it. The breastplate came first. He slid his arms into the leather backing and cinched the side straps until the plate settled against his ribs. No flourish, no grunt, just a slow exhale as cold metal found the old scar that ran along his side. Long black hair slipped forward while he worked, heavy as wet rope. A strip of cloth tied it low at the nape of his neck, keeping it off plate edges and bowstrings. His skin held the baked tone of men who live between sky and furnace. Sweat had carved faint, permanent paths around his eyes. His nose had been broken once and set mostly straight. When he looked down into the bowl, his eyes narrowed, not angry, just measuring. Boot steps scraped up the path.
Damn tree still trips people.
Azel called, a little out of breath.
Roots grab ankles like their old money.
3 likes me.
Tic Tic said without looking up. His voice carried that south rough slide. Vowels warmed, consonants trimmed.
You step ugly. That's your problem.
She appeared under the low branch a heartbeat later. No armor, no metal, just a tunic the color of river mud and a wrap skirt knotted hard at the hip. The cloth had more stitches than pride. A leather satchel rode across her chest. A heavy club hung from her belt, wood darkened and swollen from years of use, the grain polished by palms and skulls. Her gaze took in the armor laid out beside him, then climbed back to his face.
Town's still half asleep.
She said.
Down there, they're arguing about who stole whose bucket. Up here, you're dressing like somebody already decided we lost.
War doesn't sleep.
He answered.
Just waits for us to be pendejos.
She snorted and stepped onto the platform. The planks creaked, but they had held worse.
Lift,
She said. He raised his arms just enough. She slid in behind him, fingers finding the shoulder straps. Her hands were tough from nets, baskets, bone carving, but she knew how weight should sit on a body that has to move quickly.
This one's loose.
She said, tugging the left strap.
first it climbs into your throat, you'll sound like a choked goat. Even you won't want to hear it.
She dragged the leather until the plate bit down properly into his shoulders.
Better?
She asked. He rolled each shoulder in turn. The breastplate shifted, then settled like it remembered him.
Doesn't argue.
He said.
I can live with that.
Shame you don't take people the same way.
She muttered. He let the line pass. Some debts you did not count before you had to. His gaze slid past her to the hollow below. From up here, Ash Forge looked very breakable. Kilns like small red eyes. Shacks clinging to one another for courage. A handful of kids already chasing each other between slag heaps. Too young to know the way the ground shook when the bigger things walked. He picked up the forearm guards and strapped them on, buckles sitting to the outside so teeth and claws met metal before skin. One cuff bore a shallow crescent where something had tried very hard to take his hand years ago. Just above it, a pale scar climbed his wrist where the guard had not quite reached.
Armor remembers the stupid for you,
He said quietly.
if you let it.
Tell that to Thomas Roof.
Izel said.
Still leaks in the same place every rain.
Roofs don't bleed.
He said.
Men do.
She tipped her chin at the crossbow resting against the trunk.
And that stubborn thing?
He lifted the bow by the stock. The wood had been polished by years of his grip, darkened by oil and ash. Along the spine, the ratchet teeth and crank loop rode in a narrow channel, worn bright where his hand worked them. Rope and hooks lay coiled beneath the platform, within easy reach. He shrugged the sling over his head. The bow settled flat across his back, crosswise, low enough that a short reach could drag it down into his hands.
String looks tired.
Izel said.
Same as me.
He said.
Still bites.
With what? Hope?
Good.
He said.
From your goats. They eat my shirts. I take their insides. Fair trade.
That dragged half a smile out of her before she could stop it. He set his whole hand in the loop and cranked. Tick. The sound cut clean through the morning, sharp as a pebble in a drum. A blue crow higher up the tree fluffed its feathers, gave him a filthy look, and hopped to a higher branch.
Save the next one for the field.
Izel said.
Up here it only pisses off birds and ghosts.
If they hear it out there,
Tic Tic said.
they're already too damn close.
She angled her head, weighing that. No grin on his face, no brag in his eyes, just that same careful watchfulness. She let it stand as fact.
You sure about this lame?
She asked.
We could swing east, take the quiet wash. Traders swear spiketails have been chewing that rim all week. Softer ground, fewer surprises.
Soft for us.
He said, his chin tipped toward the darker cut, where road and river squeezed into Ash Forge together.
Soft for raiders too. Last storm, a scout team went out that way and didn't come back. Same wash, same ghosts. If raiders shadow herds, that's where they walk.
She rolled the club's handle in her palm, thinking of 8 names on a ledger instead of 6. Then she nodded once.
Entonces,
She said.
we mark the lanes. We're gone before the sun chooses who it loves.
Scout, not harvest. Noise is cheap. Rope is not.
He stepped past her, onto the ladder. His boots found each rung, like the tree had grown around his stride. He'd built it that way. She followed, weight making the wood bow and sigh until their feet hit the dust on the inner slope. They took the long way around the bowl, keeping to the worn goat path that hugged the stone. It wasn't steep, just relentless. The walk burned whatever loose words they had left. Breath went short and hot. Fingers brushed familiar scars in the rock where others had paused, steadied themselves, waited to be counted or waved through. Ash Forge stayed cupped behind them, an ember in a dirty palm. The thin white fall at the back wall breathed the mist into the air. The river caught the light and carried it across the floor toward the narrow stone throat ahead. From here, the tree with his hut was just another dark knot. Smoke rose straight, nothing yet disturbed. The walls leaned inward. Sound changed. Footsteps meant something here. Beyond the squeeze, the wide land waited, scrub and rock, dry washes like old scars running out toward the horizon. Heat ghosted up already from stone. Ash Forge slipped from sight as the stone closed behind them. By the time the sun climbed to its meanest height, light was a white knife. Cicadas worked the air until it buzzed. The wind dragged the far sound of the river across the scrub, thin as torn cloth. Every breath tasted like hot metal. They moved through mesquite and scrub in a low, easy crouch, never taller than the bushes around them. Fabric whispered. Sand answered with a dry hiss under their boots.
There.
Tic Tic said at last. He did not point. He tipped his chin and angled his shoulders toward a patch of bare ground between thorn bushes.
Tracks like shingles.
Izel slid up beside him, squinting against the glare. A wide band of prints crossed the dust. Plate edges had punched down and overlapped. Each impression held a faint shimmer.
Fresh,
She murmured.
see the shine? Sun hasn't stolen the sweat yet, hace nada.
Tail drag.
He added, following the faint groove between prints.
Big spike tail. Heavy.
And lazy today.
She said.
Good for us.
He shook his head.
Not lazy. Mother. Weight sits back. She's guarding.
Her eyes narrowed, reading it again.
Mother and little.
He said.
Little means herd. Never means easy.
She blew air through her teeth.
We learn her road, we learn where she drinks, where she sleeps. Next season we bring stakes, rope, half the town. Put a spike tail at the gate. Raiders stop thinking we're soft.
They stop thinking at all.
Tic Tic said. Izel's mouth hitched.
We take the flank.
She decided.
No spook, no shouting. We're a shadow. In and out.
He rolled the undercrank through a short arc. Tick. Reset. Drew it again. Slow, controlled, feeling the gear bite and carry. Tick. Each pull fed the drum a fraction tighter, the lever returning to his fingers with patient weight. He could have smoothed those teeth years ago, bled the sound out of it. He never had.
You and that damn noise.
Izel said, fighting a laugh.
One day it's going to sing for the wrong ears.
If they're close enough to hear it.
Tic Tic said.
It's already too late for them.
The ground changed under them as they eased forward. Dust looser, plants more spaced, old root lines showing where floods had once ripped through. The air cooled half a breath. Somewhere ahead, heavier bodies were moving. Something answered the soil behind them first. A weight they had not felt yet. Deep, slow thuds that the wind tried and failed to swallow. The rhythm tightened with each step. The scrub seemed to remember how to hold still.
Oh yes,
Izel whispered.
that's not our spike tail.
Hold.
Tic Tic murmured. They eased apart leaf by leaf, palms sliding the brush aside without a sound. Ahead, the big spike tail loomed into view. It moved like a walking hill, belly low, 4 stump-thick legs churning the ground. Twin rows of stone-colored plates marched up its spine, edges chipped and stained. Its tail dragged behind, ending in a mace of fused bone, spikes heavy enough to break stone. Its mouth showed only now and then, between fronds, as it ripped up tough scrub and chewed with slow, grinding patience. Just beyond it, half hidden, the calf wandered. Smaller body, plates still round and river smooth, edges not yet sharpened by fights. It ghosted deeper into brush, putting too much curiosity between itself and its mother.
2.
Tic Tic murmured.
Mama and baby.
We slide to the flank.
Izel whispered.
No spook. Learn. Don't touch.
The calf had other plans. It drifted left, nose low, following some interesting smell. Each step took it closer to their patch of cover. It gave a small bleat, thin and uncertain, then another, louder, fear on the edge of the sound. The mother froze. Plates along her spine rose and trembled. She swung her head, searching for the little shape she had lost in the brush. Her tail lifted clear of the ground, the mace swelling at the end like a threat.
Ah, mierda.
Izel breathed. The calf called again. Full panic now, the sound cracking in the middle. The whole plain heard it. The mother's answering bellow rolled out so hard it made the dust jump. It said danger in a language older than people. Far to their left, another spike-tail answered, then another, closer. The replies came in waves, bounding across the scrub.
That cry pulls the neighbors.
Izel whispered.
Whole ridge waking up.
Then we're standing in the middle of it.
Tic Tic said softly. Before the neighbors arrived, something else did. A new rhythm slammed into the ground far off and closed fast. 4-beat, heavy, but wrong for spike-tails. A rolling thunder that did not care about careful footing.
Shield horn.
Tic Tic said.
Big one. Running stupid.
The noise rose until it shoved at their ribs. Hooves struck roots. Brush whipped and snapped aside. The smell of hot, sour sweat rushed ahead like wind from an open oven.
Here?
Izel hissed.
In this choke?
Don't move.
Tic Tic said.
Let stupid pass.
The shield horn burst into the lane like the land had thrown it. A living boulder, deep barrel body, thick hide caked in dust. 3 horns jutted from its skull, 2 long ones over the eyes, 1 shorter at the nose. Its frill was scarred and chipped from old wars. Right now, it saw only the gap and the idea of a way.
Down.
Down.
They snapped together. They hit the dirt. The shield horn thundered over the place they had just been, hooves punching craters in the soil fingers' width from Tic Tic's hand. Clods of dirt slapped his knuckles. The reek of fear sweat and churning guts washed over them as it tore through the lane and crashed toward open ground, trumpeting like the world had turned inside out behind it. Izel spat grit out of her teeth.
Whatever scared that thing
She said.
doesn't care about horns.
Something that thinks horns are garnish.
Tic Tic said. The ground answered for him. Wood cracked ahead in a fast chain, like a whole line of spears snapping together. Trunks toppled sideways. Birds ripped up out of the canopy, panicked and vanished into higher sky. Something far too big shouldered into the lane. The tyrant came through the trees, as if the scrub were grass. One of the wide land's lizard kings, massive head, blunt wedge of bone and teeth, balanced on a thick neck. Its body was all scarred muscle and old wounds, hide scaled and sunburnt, colors dulled by ash. Two powerfully muscled legs carried all that weight. Its tail stretched out behind as a counterweight, thick as a tree trunk. Its jaws hung half open, stringing saliva. Each breath came heavy and hot, pushing heat ahead of it. The smell hit a second later, meat, rot, river mud baked on scale. Even among tyrants it was large. People in Ash Forge called it lazy, because when it walked the flats, dishes walked too. Cupboards shivered. Babies went quiet without knowing why. Lazy halted, one foot grinding into the dirt, claws curling for grip. Its yellow eyes tracked the lane, shield horn scent still hot on the dust, spike-tail mother, calf, the choke of brush. The pupil tightened, predator mood. A king smelling easy meat. The spike-tail mother had already turned to face him. She shoved the calf behind her plates, stomping once to plant her stance. Plates stood up in a hard line. Her tail rose all the way clear, mace hovering with the slow promise of ruin. Her bellow now was different, longer, deeper, calling not just her own calf, but every plate that wore the same shape for half a mile.
That one travels.
Izel murmured.
She's ringing every plate on this side of the ridge.
Tic Tic hooked 2 fingers through the loop and rolled it once. The bow flexed. Tick. The lever settled back into his palm. He didn't look at it. He was already watching the lane.
You're still here. Good. Don't fall behind.
Shh, move.